for 80% of the sellers out there, after you have spent $50,000 a month, you're ready to look at alternative options. Now, somebody who has a category that would just crush it on TikTok. So, for example, I sell some artisan soaps on Amazon, and I have a private label brand that does $1 million on Amazon a year, but I also have a retail arbitrage account that does 7 million. And then the agency is really my main focus, and that's what we manage there. But a soap like this does well on TikTok. I've hired many influencers to go around and shoot videos. I had a Tumblr business before Amazon yanked it. God bless Amazon and Jeff Bezos for just, shooting first and asking questions later. But I was able to get a Starbucks barista to shoot in her full garb one of my tumblers and fully dressed up. Like that. Yeah, I couldn't have paid somebody $5,000 to go, make that happen. Right. Like that's a pretty cool thing that occurred for me by just ordering a lot of generic UGC, and it just happened to happen. So there's just a lot of opportunities depending on your diminishing returns threshold as well as the category you're in. So if you are hitting a point where if you spend an extra $1,000 on Amazon and it basically means nothing for your brand, at that point it's time to get off the Amazon platform for additional opportunities. But you could be a small brand selling $5,000 a month on Amazon and think TikTok could also help your virality and help get you to $1 million brand much quicker. So there's a lot of different frameworks we could apply here depending on, where the brand is coming from. But for the majority of brands, they have this problem. Every brand I ever talked to has this singular problem, and it is there's too much to do. What should I focus on today? There's 1,000 things I could go in and check on. I could lower my ACoS, I could create new campaigns, I could touch my SEO, I could fix my main image to improve click-through rate. I don't have a brand story yet on all of my ASINs. I could go do some design work or upgrade A plus content to premium. And of course, every seller should do every single one of those activities, but nobody does, right? Like it's just one of those things. It's like your own house. You need to do laundry and vacuum and take out the garbage, but in reality, not all three of those things are happening today. So as an Amazon seller, I think it's okay to pick your battles and choose and focus and create prioritization. If everything's a priority, nothing is. So with that in mind, you have to pick 2 or 3 things to hyper focus on. And in my opinion, traffic generation should always be on those focal points. If you have a marketing partner, perhaps they take that off your plate. My Amazon guy is a marketing partner. So we love pairing up with operational brands who go out and are really good at sourcing and are good at logistics, but don't know how to generate traffic. But for sophisticated sellers who know how to generate traffic, then it becomes a question of, okay, I know I need to generate traffic, but what's the best way to do it? So sponsored product ads, bar none, are going to be the bulk, 80% of what everybody's doing all the time. But here's the thing where we start to delineate a bit. I think a lot of sellers have over indexed on exact match spend, and many of them are putting 60, 70% of their budget in exact match keywords. I believe 80% of your budget should be in auto and broad match. Full stop. I don't think you've ever heard somebody say that before. And I am just utterly confused why more people are not spending more money on broad and auto. And I have some theories behind it. I think it's because people assume that it's a higher ACoS. It's not, it's lower. Well, why is that? Well, what happened is exact match got bid up so high by everybody trying to get exact match keywords that they've made it get diminishing returns. And broad and auto are under indexed, they're underbidded on, and they're mismanaged. A lot of people are lazy with keyword negations. So I have a couple of rules. Rule number one, never negate a good keyword. If you go back in time 7, 10 years ago and looked at Amazon advertising literature from the supposed gurus, you'll hear things like make an auto campaign and then promote the keywords to exact match and then negate them from your auto. Do not do that. That is a terrible methodology because if the keyword is working in an auto campaign, you should leave it alone in the auto campaign. Duplicate it to the exact match for sure, 100%. But don't mess up what's currently working on an auto and broad match campaign. So that's rule one. Rule two, add weekly negations for anything that meets your parameters. Your parameters could be something like 20 clicks, no sales, add a negation. Your parameters could be something like 20% ACOS above my ACOS goal. So if your ACOS goal is 35% and it's at 55, you might negate it. Before I negate it, I would lower the bid 5, 10% every 3 days, see if it would help. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And then you end up negating it anyway. But I think those are the sort of parameters that can really be helpful for somebody trying to upgrade what they're doing with their advertising strategy. And we could talk about segmentation, we could talk about bidding by hour and day parting and a lot of other more sophisticated things. But those basics about, how you negate, when you negate, and how you should and shouldn't negate, I think are fundamentals that are often ignored.